Hey everyone, and welcome to another installment of Ticket Stubs and Popcorn. I am Frank.
And I'm Peter.
He's Peter, and today we're going to talk about Rosario Dawson.
Dawson.
She's pretty great. So
I have a question for you.
Oh, okay. I was going to thank folks for subscribe. You know, I'm going to do that.
Okay,
now that because I've already started the word subscribe.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thanks to folks who have subscribed and sending comments and stuff like that. Checked us out on Instagram and Facebook. Those of you who have reached out and got some merch, good for you. I look forward to seeing some pictures of folks grabbing the merch. So we appreciate your support for the show. That's it's good stuff. Thanks so much.
Sure.
All right. So you had a question for me.
Yes.
I just want to point out that my little rambling on there was a very good opportunity for me to hijack the question thing, but I didn't.
But I already said I got a question.
Because, I'm polite. I was raised better.
You
That being said, let me ask you this. No. Kidding. Go ahead.
All right. My question, this is a fairly simple one, and I don't think
That's good, because I am a fairly simple one as well.
I don't think we've even really, we've maybe danced around this one, but who's your favorite movie villain?
Okay. All right. I got a couple. I'll try to pick out one. That's cool.
We'll just think about that one.
All right, cool. All right, yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I got a couple of that.
Okay.
I see the math happening in my head.
Smell wood burning.
Fill in. That's a very that's our word. So, all right. Excuse me, Rosario Dawson. Yeah, I'm gonna go first.
Do you want to? Okay, good.
So Rosario Dawson first came to my attention in Rent.
Yes.
Yes. Great movie. I never got to see the show, but the movie was really pretty great. And she really just big cast.
Yeah.
Lot of great stuff happening in that movie. But she just really stood out for me. That's where I think she really came to my attention initially.
I think for a lot of people.
So yeah, she's just really fantastic in that. It's to be able to stand out the way she does in such an ensemble.
In a big ensemble.
In a big ensemble, in such an iconic and important show, I think. It just that really jumps out at me, and that's she's just so super talented, and seeing that all happen, sing, dance, and the whole thing, and it's just a delight to see.
Yeah.
And so I'm just I can't. I would love to be able to show clips of that. That'd be cool, but I'm not that cool to show clips from the movie. We'll show a picture. We'll show it. There you go. But I really want to get on to my next one. I'm just going to kind of blow through that one because my next
I wonder
favorite
if we're
one,
going to overlap on this one.
We might. My next favorite one is and I'm gonna wate to the end to talk about my other the bigger one.
I've got another one
but,
too.
But her role in Clerks 2.
Oh, yeah.
Love her in that.
Me
She's
too.
so good.
That's on my list.
She's such a great great piece in that movie because
addition to an already established cast.
Exactly. To be able to come into that established cast and hold her own and be funny, and it's so great. And I actually, a million years ago, I met Brian O'Halloran, the guy who plays Dante. And really, really nice guy. I met him and I hung out with him and Jay Muse for a little bit. I know, right?
Dropping.
Just a little name dropping here. No, but it was a really weird kind of thing. So, but he was very, very cool, and we barely talked about the movies. It was just cool. So, but to see Rosario Dawson join this group was just so fantastic. She's so funny. And the little, where she's trying to teach Dante to dance on the roof. I loved seeing that. And
I love how it just broke out too.
Yeah,
it's just a break.
Yeah, it just happens, and then it becomes this thing, like this dance thing,
whole thing.
all over. The whole cast gets involved, and it kind of threw me back a little bit in a weird way to Rent, kind of. But
okay.
So I love her in that. I like that she's like she'll be. I mean, Kevin Smith. Some of his stuff can be a little raunchy and stuff like that. So, and she just rolls with the punches.
Yeah, she just goes
to her whole thing about ass to mouth. I just thought it was just.
You said that.
I did. So, very, very funny stuff. And but now the next one, the iconic, that big step, and this is technically TV, but I'm taking.
I think we're going to overlap on this one too.
Oh my God, her taking on. What a responsibility to be Ahsoka Tano, the Mandalorian, and then soon to be, the series, the Ahsoka show. Oh my God, when there was talk of her showing up in live action, the nerd network, the nerd webs were abuzz, and when they announced her, I was like, oh my God, yes, so great. Ashley Eckstein, who voiced the character, when she came out and said, "Yeah, I think that's fantastic," I just said, "Yeah, that's like a big seal of approval," and I was really, really happy about that, because you don't want to, someone who brought that character to life and gave so much to that character, to kind of hand off the live action part and not be like, sour grapes. And the cynical among, because there's always, the cynical on the internet, especially Star Wars fans, who are the worst. But, there are some folks going, well, of course Ashley's going to be all into it. Disney's, that's her meal ticket, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's genuine, and it's professional, and it's great. But oh man, her Ahsoka Tano on the Mandalorian. I can't wait for the Ahsoka show. Ahsoka Tano was such an iconic Star Wars character, and it happened relatively fast. People didn't like the character initially, but for there to be such an acceptance of this character, live action, and Rosario Dawson just totally embracing it. And doing such a great job. It's such a physical role, and it's such a badass role, and Ahsoka is such a badass character. Oh man, I can't gush enough about how much I love seeing that. So,
very good.
Breathe, yeah. So yeah, I wish I had a Movies T-shirt.
I was gonna. Yeah,
I got the right colors.
Which is the right colors?
The colors are right.
The movies,
but,
yes.
So yeah. This was also, this shirt was, I've been getting a lot of T-shirt gifts lately.
You have been.
So this is really cool. We got a nephew headed off to school. Maybe could change at any minute though.
We don't.
No, we don't. My particular family, yeah. And who knows? This could be something else. It could be
Salem State for all we know.
Finicky little bastard, right? So who knows? Yeah, could be. Anyway, so that's my quick hot take on Rosario Dawson. I'm really excited to talk about villains now, though. So.
Very good.
So Rosario Dawson, go ahead.
All righty. We had some overlap.
Some, I'm sure we did. Yeah,
we had some overlap. So let me just start off with the one that doesn't overlap.
Okay.
Because we had two that overlap.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the entire movie would be grindhouse, but the portion, the one half of the movie that she in is Deb Cliff.
Oh yeah, she is great in that.
She's Abernathy.
Yeah, I love that name.
So do I.
Love that name.
So do I. Yeah, harkens back to the civil rights movement with Ralph Abernathy. Anyway, she's great in that one. It's a great cast.
Oh God, yeah.
Great movie.
Quentin Tino, right?
Quentin Tino did that one.
Yeah.
Our friend Quentin Tino.
I still have in my possession a very large banner from the grindhouse thing. Yeah, which I believe belonged to you.
I believe you're right.
Yeah, I worked in a movie theater.
You used to work in a movie theater?
I did, yeah. And yeah, you know, they got the big, you know, banners. It's your banner. You know what I'm talking about.
It's yours now.
It's mine now to
Well, it's
find
in storage
out
somewhere
what to do.
in
It is in storage
Massachusetts,
somewhere
right?
in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I should probably get my Massachusetts.
It's as I recall, that's a pretty good sized poster.
It is.
What is that?
It's
about
at
6
least,
feet high by about 12 feet wide.
It's not
maybe?
6. Actually, you know what? It might be about 5 feet high, and then it's
10 or 12
easily
feet wide?
No, it's more. It's
Really?
got, I think it's about.
It is. It's
I think it's
huge.
about 15 feet wide. It is. It is huge. It is because at one point I looked at like, oh, I'll put it in my room because I'm a big, huge movie nerd, and it was too big, and that was a big bed. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, it's huge.
The only reason I even had room for it at one time is because I was up on a third floor garret, like the attic of a house. They had the sloping thing, but I had a long wall on a hallway.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh my God, this
Yeah,
is like
it
an
totally
unbroken space. I can fit that there."
Yeah.
So that's where I used to have it.
Yeah,
But,
it's
Anyway, so
it's along with like 200 other posters I've got sitting in storage.
thank God they aren't as big.
No.
So Death Proof, well, wonderful, and you know, obviously, tribute to Quentin Tarantino's writing as well as directing. But there's some great conversational scenes in this movie. There's great action, and definitely upholds her end of it.
Yeah. Oh,
You know what I mean?
She's incredible.
Yeah.
She's
So-
incredible. There's
I
that
love that.
one scene in that where, and it's so creepy, where and it's Tarantino's whole foot thing, where she's like
Oh yeah.
sitting in the car and the other two are in the store, but she's sitting in the car, her
Yeah.
foot's hanging out the window.
Yeah.
And you know, Kurt Russell kind of comes by and he's just like right there at her feet, and it's just like, how she did, like, there's got to be takes out there somewhere where she kicks him in the face because it's so creepy.
I
So
I
weird.
just love how the conversations too in the movie just flow, as in any
You're okay in my book.
any Quentin Tino movies got, you know, great dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
But there's like, you know, there's some good stuff where just like the girls are chatting away in the car, you know, the four of them, you know what I mean? It's just good conversation, and it's about like her dating history kind of thing. And then all of a sudden it's like, you're like thinking, oh, that's nice. And then like the girls just kind of turn on her. They start kind of ragging on her a little bit, making fun of her. They're like, what are you, 12 years old? You held his hand?
Yeah, she's
you know,
great in
stuff
that.
like that. Yeah,
She's
yeah.
great.
So that
and then
was,
we overlap.
I enjoyed that one. Yeah. My second pick would be Clerks 2. Love the movie, but she brings this whole other bit of fresh air, but also is right into the group.
Yeah.
Just fits in.
And she's really the only adult in the room.
She is the only adult because
Yeah.
she tries to call people on their crap.
Yeah.
And she also, though, but she's got her own.
Well,
little
that's the thing. She's got her
too.
own little agenda.
Yeah, but
and-
she also has her own little problems that she's trying to deal
exactly.
with.
So she's got her stuff going on,
And she is, yeah.
she's trying to you know talk to Dante about kind of needling him about going and being married and
And
that
doing
whole
the
thing.
husband
Right.
thing with
Excuse
that
me,
kind
and-
of a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
With that
But
kind of
she's
a
also
wife.
digs him.
She does dig.
So
she
you
digs
gotta
him a
wonder, it's
lot,
just
and
like,
she's trying to hide that.
Is she?
And then she doesn't try to hide it.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's
it's
great role.
It really is.
It's a lot of fun.
There's a lot
I
of
want to
fun
go watch that.
in the movie, in scenes that she's not in, but the scenes she's in, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
they
so
really
great.
command. She commands their attention. Everybody does in their own kind of weird way
Well,
because it's a Kevin Smith movie
Right.
too, which also is dialogue heavy, but it's got some great little,
But to say she's like the grown up in the room, the conversations, like when they're having their little, he's painting her toenails kind of thing. She's had a lot of work done on her feet. So, well, just like in movies, like her feet. I picked 2 movies out of her. So, but when they're chatting and it is, about, do you really want to get married? And what are you doing here? It's such a it's the mature kind of grown up part of the movie, and it sort of signals. Clerks 2, I think, is sort of the maturity of Kevin Smith, going back and revisiting these characters and having them in kind of like real, more grown-up conversation.
Yeah,
and
and
I think
you also get the feeling that some of the characters are maturing and some are not.
Because, yeah, exactly. And the scene that Dante and Randall have when they're,
they're in jail.
You know, and it's just like, well, this is a real kind of like, we're moving on kind of thing. We can't just sit around talking about Star Wars, all day.
Yeah.
So,
although, but we can.
We can, yeah.
But they can't. But we can.
But I think that's sort of it's a nice sort of change in Kevin Smith's work, moving on into more adult things, and then he goes and does Tusk. So, did you ever see that one?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, that movie's so fucking weird.
I have not.
Oh my God.
I will see it.
So weird. Anyway, so Rosario Dawson.
Yeah. So
who else you got?
Lover is Becky in Clerks 2. And my last one, which I wasn't even sure if I could pick this one, it was in my top 3. No, the only reason I say it is because it's in a movie franchise extended family, but my experience is TV. But that's
given that
it's
there's
still Disney. It's done in a way that it's
given that there's so much overlap between and great work
and
on
the lines
TV and they're blurred. So I really don't think we're gonna get a message going. I thought you guys were just movies. How come you're talking about TV?
I don't get it.
I'm not watching it.
I don't get a ticket stub when I'm watching it at home.
Exactly. Well, maybe you should.
Maybe
give
you
yourself
should.
a ticket stub. Give
make
yourself
some popcorn.
Make some popcorn. Tear a ticket when you sit down and watch this stuff. Get that. Start getting that movie feeling back until you're comfortable enough to go back into a movie theater.
So my third pick would be her work as Ahsoka, Tano in the Mandalorian. But my experience is a little different. As you know, I don't get on the computer much, so I don't know about Scuttlebutt months in advance. Who did they pick to play this?
Yeah, I'm that.
No, I know, but I don't know that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. A lot of times I don't see it or hear it until I see it and hear it, on the screen, and to watch the animated series Star Wars Rebels. Watch the series and then you see this character animated only. That's what we see. That's what we got. And you realize this is a great character. Fits in nicely. There's a Jedi Master. She's the Padawan now. And to see that development is just incredible. You buy into it. You love the character. So now there's one occasion. Once again, I didn't know that there could be a series in the offing. So when we're watching The Mandalorian, more than one time, but when you're watching go through the series, and there is the occasion for this animated character to finally be represented in live action form.
Yeah. So good.
You just get so excited.
Yeah.
How is this going to look? How is it going to play out? And when Rosario Dawson shows up as a little older version of what we saw in the animated one.
Yeah, because by the time she gets into Mandalorian, she's got to be 40.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, because she's starts off as a teenager.
Yeah, she's a teenager.
And
animated stuff.
Clone Wars, and then that goes, and then it's another 20, 25 years. Yeah, so she's got to be 40-ish by the time we see her in Mandalorian, because Mandalorian's 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Right, and then we saw her all through the Clone Wars.
Right.
Just
so
great
she's
stuff.
probably
Did I say
she
Rebels?
leaves.
I meant
Yeah, well, there's Clone Wars and she's in Rebels, so
Yeah.
she's
both.
so she's probably about 15, 16 when she decides to leave.
Yeah.
When she decides to leave
Yeah.
the Jedi Order. So 20, yeah, so it puts her at about 40-ish.
All right, so say 40. Yeah.
So any
And
of the
to, like,
super nerds out there, if you have an exact age,
Yeah.
that'd be super cool.
But to be able,
but I'm thinking
but to be able to see her, or to see the character of
Yeah.
Ahsoka in a live action form, was just incredible.
Yeah.
And then the fact that it's Rosario Dawson, you go, that's a really good casting call.
Yeah, great casting.
You know,
Great
really,
casting.
really was. Whoever made those decisions, that was a good move.
And it didn't, because sometimes when it's someone who's well known like that, and
Yeah.
they put him in something like this,
It detracts.
it'll take you out.
Yeah.
So when there was a real danger, I think, of Ahsoka showing up, and you're just like, hey, look, it's Rosario Dawson dressed up as Ahsoka.
Yeah, playing
No.
the part.
Nothing.
No.
It's just like,
It
oh,
felt
it's Ahsoka, and she's kicking ass, and it's awesome.
And it felt exactly what you thought.
Yeah.
About it. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. And it's great because you have this, as Star Wars nerds, that we are. You have this attachment, emotional attachment to so many characters. So it just seemed like, oh my God, this is perfect to be able to see it, and then just whatever was going on in the Mandalorian anyway is great, and really dig that stuff. But then to see them bring in this, which is definitely aiding the story, because now Grogu's got to go somewhere, or at least plant the seed in the Mandalorian's head of where it's going. You know what I mean?
It made perfect sense.
It did.
It didn't feel like just fan service. Oh, we're gonna throw this in here because it worked with the story. So
Exactly.
and if it didn't, it would have been just, oh, why are we doing this? And I am a big when I first saw Boba Fett show up in this show, there was a part of me that was just like, oh, come on, but then the way it worked in the story, and then the story of his armor and Cobb Vanth, and all of that, it just kind of worked. And then as I'm reading through one of the novels,
you love those novels.
I do love the novels.
You
and
always
I come
lord
across
the fact over me that you can read, and I'm still illiterate.
Right, you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there.
Maybe.
You will get. There's more beyond the blue fish.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get there. There's a cat with a hat.
Oh, that sounds pretty good already.
Yeah, exactly. So, there's
green eggs and ham.
There's some green eggs and ham. There's
all right.
The places you'll go. So wow. So anyway, she's she's great. She's great. Yeah,
so those are my three.
Those are your three. Great.
That's
right.
Wonderful.
Cool. Yeah. You had a question.
I did.
Villain.
It is a very broad
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, if you got some, and I'm sure you do, who's your favorite villain?
Before I hear I just want to say that there's one movie villain that, when you think about it, given the movie that they're in, it's like, how did this, I don't think that you'd see it today, because it's basically it's kind of, well, all right, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes.
Right? That movie, right?
Yeah.
With Judge Doom.
Yeah.
And you can kind of go back and forth, is this a kid's movie? Is it not? Because there's a lot of sexual innuendo in this movie.
Yeah.
But
she isn't dirty. It's just the way she's drawn.
Yeah, but the innuendo with patty cake and all that. It's not patty cake.
Yeah.
But when Judge Doom has the big bucket of the stuff, and he drops the shoe, and then the shoe's screaming.
I know.
As it dies.
Because it's an anthropomorphic shoe, because it's a cartoon shoe.
How were kids not fucked up by that? There's got to be a whole generation of kids out there who saw this. I mean, I was in my 20s when that came out, so I was a little more
Well, hopefully you're a
emotionally
little
stable
more, yeah.
than I was when I was 6. Not much, a little bit
Yeah.
more.
The jury's still out on that one.
Yeah, believe me. The jury's just like, come on, man, can we just finish him? Anyway, so, but to see that as a kid, it had to be just fucking devastating. But it's, but movie, so he's a great villain.
Sure.
But God, man, there's so many great movie villains out there. This really is kind of tough.
It's also that great balance. Also depends on the type of movie, but there is a balance. In some cases, it's a delicate balance between being over the top bad guy and being a bad guy who's just there's no explanation. There's no apology. You know what I mean? There's different. There really are different kinds of villains.
Right, where they're like a bad guy, but they're not they're not a bad guy. You know?
Yeah, or they're like the comic book superhero villain. Those can be like, so different.
There's a part of me that kind of relates to Thanos. You know, I'm
not going to argue with you.
It's usually when I'm looking for a parking space or I'm trying to navigate a cart through a supermarket. I hate supermarkets.
If only half the people weren't here.
Yeah, exactly. So I can kind of relate to that. Yeah. So Dr. Evil is
he's a fun one.
Is a great one because he's just like, I put in the work. You know,
he's a parody on so many tropes through history.
I didn't go to evil medical school just to be called Mr. Evil, you know? And I get it. There are standards. So, favorite villain. I can't go Palpatine because his plan is fucking stupid overall.
We've gone over to talk about plans. Just talk about, villain.
I guess I'm gonna have to go with I'm gonna go with Vader.
Okay. Okay.
I think I am gonna go Vader. Even though he's like a pawn of
definitely at times,
Palpatine. I truly, and as manipulated as Anakin was, I really think that, and knowing that there are times when Vader questions his work with Palpatine. You see it in some of the movies. You definitely see it in the comics and in some of the novels. But still, at the end of the day, he's done some pretty messed up stuff. I'm gonna go Vader because when Vader is on his villain game, he is brutal. So. Yeah, I'm gonna go Vader. Final answer, Vader. So, and my other one would then be Regis Philbin. So
very good.
No, so I'm gonna go Vader. Yeah,
okay.
I'll stick with Vader.
That's good. There are some movies that have villains that are written in a way that it's ambiguous. Is this person the villain? They're so gosh darn smooth and cultured that sometimes there are times when you're watching Silence of the Lambs and you go, is Hannibal Lecter the villain? Is he a villain?
I don't know.
He's bad. He's got some evil stuff going on, but is he the villain? So there's sometimes where things are done to make
I guess it's
give you food for thought.
How are you?
But yeah, I'm not
really
picking him.
No, I know, but
but I'm just saying there are times that movies are done in a way where they're charming and
is he really?
Does that make them a good guy? Does it make him innocent?
Choice?
Does it make him
Or is that just his nature?
Yeah,
or is it one's nature to be villainous?
You never know. But the thing, one of my favorite ones is, one of them, but. The Dr. Evil character is parody, but it's done even more so. It's way over. But they're based on a lot of James Bond villains. And I always liked Goldfinger as a bad guy.
Okay.
Because he's not apologetic about anything. There's no excuses made. He's already got stuff lined up to double cross the people who he's already elicited help from, whether it's like organized crime to bankroll some of his stuff. Well, he just locks around and gasses all these people, stuff like that one. He doesn't, he'll just kill. Oh, she turned her back on me during that card game. We'll just kill her. I mean, it might be elaborate by painting her gold, but you know what I mean. He just doesn't seem to care. All he cares about is obviously gold and cornering the market and affecting the prices and all that stuff. So there are some of those aspects that they can take and make Dr. Evil out of. But then there's like Blofeld, who's another villain who's also really good. So there's some of those fun villains, I guess. I don't know what we want to call that kind of a villain.
Well, then you get into like the classic, like you've got Lex Luthor, and you've got, as portrayed in the movies for the most part, Lex Luthor is kind of I think he's more of a clown than the Joker. Because if you think about Gene Hackman and Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor, it's just like their evil schemes were like real estate based.
Yeah,
it was all about money. It was just like they were just really kind of messed up Century 21 agents who, but the Joker is, the Joker is also a great villain, but I also think that the fact that Batman won't kill him. Joker's just kind of like, look, you're kind of just letting me off. Yeah. Isn't the real villain whoever's running Arkham? Because Joker, they escape all the time. I think the real villain is Arkham.
It's a revolving door.
Right, seriously. I think the real villain, I said this in the other podcast that I do with Chris. It's called Are You Serious? That's another one.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what it's called. Are You Serious? I am serious. I used to work in a movie theater. So
you used to work in a movie theater?
I did. So, but we were talking about Joker, and some like comic book bad guys, and like Arkham is such a mess. Really, I don't really blame the Joker. He's just like, oh well, doors open, you idiots. Just all right, I'm just going to keep going.
He's a product of that weird society.
But Batman and Joker, really, they're just one. Like Joker says, you're just one bad day. Everyone's just one bad day from being me. So, Jokers are a really, really good villain.
No, yeah. It's just, it's interesting. You could just, it makes or break a story. Depends on that villain. Yeah. You got that's the bad guy.
Right. Well, that's why the Superman ones
so
kind of
sometimes
throw
the
me
ones that
off.
are more over the top are a little better because it's just, they're unapologetic.
When the Henry Cavill Superman is, he's kind of, going, against Zod and all that, all right, fine. Those are a little bit better. I don't really understand their motivation other than just to beat Superman. But,
sometimes that's all you need for motivation.
But Superman is such a terrible character anyways. It's so boring. But you've got like Lex Luthor, and it's all, at least in the movies so far, has been just kind of about like making money. Like it's like the Gene Hackman one, the Kevin Spacey one. It's all about like land grabs and things like that. It's like, really? This is your bad guy thing? You're gonna put all your energy into condos?
No, it's we saw whenever it came out, Wonder Woman 1984, right?
I don't know what the bad guy's motivation
I was going to say, the fact that we don't have either a good bad guy, a decent bad guy, or decent motivation sometimes. So like that really detracted from, the movie wasn't great anyway, but sometimes the fact that Kristen Wiig may not have been believable, the bad guy wasn't. We didn't. There's a lot of.
There are so many James Bond movies that I watched growing up where honestly I had no idea what the bad guy was trying to do.
Yeah.
What was it? It was always just, oh, this is happening. James has to get from one thing, goes to the next thing.
He just has to
then he
stop
goes to the next thing. And then he's got to get out of this problem. He's got to go to the next thing. And there have been movies that I, again, saw when I was growing up, revisited as I'm older, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to pay a little bit more attention. It's just like, oh, you're doing like a whole media empire kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, but it doesn't matter because the bad guy seems bad enough and the good guy is good enough, and that
and it keeps your interest because of that.
You know, and the movie keeps moving and stuff like that. I thought in Wonder Woman 84 that Cheetah was a better bad guy than the other dude whose name I can't
remember it either, which is why
my plan is wish fulfillment.
Yeah, like
and I'm gonna get a power. It's just like, wait a minute, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, back it up, say that
Yeah,
again.
it was really weird. You're like a weird fucked up genie. Like what? It didn't make sense. I didn't understand what he wanted, and but you know, it made sense. Oh, Cheetah wants power, and she wants. Great. I want power. That's enough for me. Yeah. Now fight.
Right.
There you go. So I don't know. Good
but
question.
One of my other favorite villains, which I was leading up to, and then we started getting sidetracked.
Because I interrupted.
Star Wars. No, because I just started thinking, you know.
Yeah.
Star Wars. It kind of took me to like the comic books stuff and those kind of, you know, villains over the top. This character is over the top, but it is so fun because it is not. It's you know, it's parody, it's comedy, it's everything. Is Dr. Emilio Lizardo in Buckaroo Banzai Across the Convention. I mean, he's just great. John Lithgow is just he's just great in that one. Like he'll give himself electric shock every once in a while just to keep him going. It's just crazy.
Well, even like.
Laugh a while you can, monkey boy. I just love it. This is great stuff.
That is a good one. Anyway, so yeah, let's.
Have we even recapped?
I don't know.
That was like a million years ago. Rosario Dawson, remember her?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we overlapped so much.
We overlapped
with
on
Ahsoka,
two,
Tano, and Clerks 2, and then
you had Rent.
I had Rent, and you had. No, I know this. It's
Quentin
simple.
Tino.
It's Quentin Tino. It's Death Proof.
Death Proof.
Yeah,
yep.
Nice. All right, cool. Really fun stuff. Peter's going to grab the bucket. I'm going to remind you to like and subscribe and to all of that good stuff. Follow us on Instagram and support the show if you could. We got stuff and fashion and all that stuff.
It'll look better on you, trust me.
Yeah, almost definitely. So, anyway.
All right.
My back is bugging me.
Well, you're bugging me.
No, my back is bugging me.
Oh, you're still bugging me.
All right, we good?
Very
all right,
good.
Cool. All right, folks. Have a great day. Thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Take care.